So generally, I would say my body of work right now is like exploring what I figured out in a blog post. Is called the virtual subconscious, and I forgot who named it this, but it's something I've been trying to like figure out how to speak about and how to label for a long time. So basically, I'm layering images in an app called Photoshop Mix. It's like Photoshop mobile, and so I'm layering like pictures I've taken, like in my personal archive. So like here is my brother and sister using their devices, and then I layered that with like an image I took from nature, and then I layered it again with like some Photoshop influence where I just scribbled, and that's basically what created the cracked screen effect that I was going for. So yeah, each one is kind of like a layered digital collage that's sort of trying to visually represent the virtual subconscious. That's like our new reality, especially during this pandemic. So this one is also a digital collage. If you move up close, you can kind of see how I'm trying to capture another cracked screen, but in a different way, not really using paint, but with thread, and it's taking a lot longer than I expected, but I've already committed, so the goal is for this one to have just a bunch of different colors of thread. One of the main pictures involved with this one is one of the California wildfires, and so I layered that with like an image, a National Geographic archived image, and so you can kind of like see the hint or the insinuation of like a fire with onlookers, and yeah, between all of my works there's definitely like a kind of eeriness that comes about, and I think I really want to dive into that a little more, but I also I'm starting to not really rely on the collages that I make when I'm like trying to make my paintings based off of them. I'm sort of making my own decisions for the paintings because I can't exactly like capture what's digitally made using paint. So that's the gist of it. Something cool that I discovered is, so I dropped a piece of rice paper onto the tarp, and there was like wet paint on the tarp, and so it dried, and I pulled it up, and you can see like the tiny squares that sort of transferred from the tarp, and so I was like, wow, those are pixels basically. So I definitely want to, I don't really know what I'm going to do with all these pieces of rice paper, but like here I used it as like negative space, so I'm just experimenting with this. Well, I always like invert the colors when I'm layering pictures digitally, so I think that definitely determines some of the color choices that I make. But I'm trying to, like, obviously I'm really attached to colors, so I'm trying to like make them vibrant and convey that digital influence that's like basically a film over our reality, if that makes sense. I actually think it's helped a lot, like clarify my ideas. It's also encouraged my art making a little more. Like, I would say I've been using painting as an escape from the screen, but also I, use digital collage making as an escape as well. So like, I would say escapism is definitely a theme in my work at this point. I'm in basic sculpture now, and I'm finding it super interesting. It's definitely, I've never really experimented with sculpture, so it's like a different, like making things 3D is so different to me. I'm like always focused on 2D surfaces, but I've also been messing around with projections, so I might do some kind of projection digital collage type thing. Because I really like the effect of like LED lights onto paint and how it changes the color. So But for now, I'm mostly, as you can see, experimenting with surfaces.